Thank you for the great feedback on the first video. In today's video, I want to talk to you about the global IT services industry. So the pandemic provided great boost to the global IT services industry, which grew at a fair clip over the last 2 years compared to the decade that's gone by. Now, a fundamental question that the analysts are asking globally is this fast-paced growth likely to continue? In my view, the party is here to continue for the IT services industry as they face secular tailwinds of growth. Why do I say that? For 4 key reasons. Let's dive into them one by one. First, accelerated pace of digitization. The pandemic has done what no CIO could do in the industry. It's really amplified the pace of digitization. Companies initially focused on the front end of their business in terms of having better reach to customers so that they could sell omnichannel. Over the next few years, the same companies are likely to invest in digitizing the back and the middle end of their business. Additionally, there are a number of other companies out there in the industry who still haven't jumped on the digitization bandwagon. And overall, this is not a 1 or 2 year theme that's going to play, but a decadal theme for this decade. 2, it's no hidden secret that business models across industries from manufacturing to education to retail are getting disrupted. The advent of new technologies from AI, blockchain, metaverse is substantially changing the game for industries and companies. Now, there's a consensus amongst global CIOs that these changes in turn mean increased IT spending to the tune of 6 to 15% over the next 3 to 5 years. So what are the top areas that global CIOs are looking to spend on? Here are the top 5. First, it's about cloud computing, which is essentially about building a scalable and cost-effective digital business. 2, it's about digitization. And digitization is being driven not just because the customers want it, because it's required from a supply chain as well as a workforce trend standpoint. Third, it's about cybersecurity. Here's an interesting trivia about cybersecurity. The total loss that the global industry faces because of cyber attacks is to the tune of $6 trillion. If it were a country, it would be the 3rd largest country globally. Fourth, it's about AI and ML, which is really about making use and monetizing the data that you have access to. And 5th, it's about data warehousing and business intelligence. The 3rd trend is about increased private investing in companies. Let me share a couple of stats to bring this to life. The VC investing has increased from $5 billion in 2012 to $335 billion in 2010. Within a single year, it increased from $335 billion in 2020 to over $650 billion in 2021. That's mind-boggling. Now, if you look at the enterprise side of VC investing, then this number has increased from $50 billion in 2020 to over $105 billion in 2021. What this really means is that there's a lot of private investing happening in companies. A substantial proportion of this investing will be channelized towards technology, infrastructure, and technology up, which in turn means increased demand for global IT service providers. The 4th aspect is really about shortage of skill sets. When the pandemic hit in 2020, a number of IT projects were either shelved or paused. Now, these projects got reinitiated in the back end of 2020 and some even moved to 21 and 22 in terms of their start date. So, delayed projects together with the shortage of talent pool has meant that global companies are having to rely on IT service providers to meet this shortage and keep pace with their planned project completion timelines. All this means is that the global IT services industry will enjoy a fair amount of growth in the years ahead. Now, does this mean that all players will grow equally? Not really. I believe companies that meet these 3 criteria will substantially outpace their peers. First, it's about having strong digital capabilities versus legacy systems. Now, the fact is that the digital part of the business for most companies is growing at a double-digit growth rate, while the legacy part of the business is either declining or flat. So companies that have strong digital capabilities will outpace their peers substantially. 2, it's about having a strong talent pool that companies are able to retain, especially on the digital and the emerging technology side. It's no wonder then that you see all companies going above and beyond in terms of increased hikes, bonuses, and retention measures for their employees. Third, it's about having a strong M&A setup to keep acquiring and bolting onto them companies that have new and emerging capabilities. Why is that important? Because in today's time, it's impossible for any IT service provider to organically build all capabilities that are in vogue. Hope you found the video useful. Until next time, bye.